Hi folks, Florida Man here. I'm bringing you a review of what is, as far as I know, the world's first, and only, diplomacy novel. It's a book called The Art of the Stab by R. Jamie Langa, and the author was kind enough to send me a review copy, despite the fact that the author is self-published, and is therefore losing out on a little bit of revenue by not trying to get me to buy my copy. If this book review makes the book sound good to you, I hope you'll follow the affiliate link I'm putting in the video description and buy this, either as a paperback or an ebook, and support the author. Normally, this might be where I'd say a thing or two about the author, but I will skip that, since the identity of the author is a complete mystery to me, even down to the author's gender being unknown due to the gender-neutral pseudonym the author uses. Let's go right into what kind of story this is. The Art of the Stab purports to be an oral history of a diplomacy game that someone is interviewing all the players about for educational purposes. The story of the game and the backstory of the game is told through snippets of interviews with each of the 7 players that are organized in a structure based on the seasons of the game. It was hard for me to believe that a novel could be structured this way and still function as a novel, but the concept works surprisingly well. The tone of the story was reminiscent of a dark sequel to The Breakfast Club from the beginning, and that impression was reinforced as the story went on. Imagine a sequel to The Breakfast Club where some of the characters are revealed to have bottled up loves and hatreds and unresolved issues toward each other, and you get closer to how this book feels. The characters feel like they could be real people, and like they are the actual age they're supposed to be, recent high school graduates. At the same time, they feel like high school archetypes and also diplomacy archetypes. There's a character who's a jock, and there's a character who got bullied in school and has a big chip on his shoulder. There's a character who has a secret crush on another character. There's a character who's much too serious for his age. There's a character who treats everything like it's a twisted game. There's a couple in the story, and their relationship affects the game. There are friendships this game clearly damages. I don't want to go into spoilers in this video, but it feels like a very character-driven novel, suffice to say, and I felt as if I knew the characters and some of their family members before the story was over. It was a good feeling. I wanted to encounter them again. The pacing is a little bit mixed. The first 30 or so pages are really just establishing the characters and introducing the earliest board events. However, it steadily picks up and feels faster and more urgent the longer you read. By the end, The Art of the Stab has really good pacing, and rereading the first chapters, it feels like a lot of the setup was necessary to make the twists and character decisions later believable. A personal note: I have thought about writing a diplomacy novel myself. If I did, I intended it to be a murder mystery set in a diplomacy tournament setting. Although Langa's The Art of the Stab is not a murder mystery, I felt that it borrowed a lot of the tension and suspense that I would typically associate with a murder mystery plot, especially as the mystery of this story unfolds. The story is pretty great. It feels like we're really hearing about a house game, and the events give me the sense that the author has absolutely played a fair share of house games in the past. There's a central mystery to the story, and a couple of good twists that rely on the conventions of diplomacy and the development of the characters in equal measure. So if you find yourself reading the book and having some question marks floating over your head, I think most of those questions, if not all of those questions, are going to be answered. The most impressive quality of the book, which jumped out at me as a diplomacy fan as the book went on, is how central the game becomes to the plot of the story. At first, reading it, I felt as if the novel was a teen drama. But as the game goes on, the game becomes the driving force behind the drama. And the unique dynamics of diplomacy are critical to the resolution of the story. I don't know if you'll ever find another story quite like this. The ending wraps things up perfectly and makes pretty much everything that happened feel meaningful in retrospect. In short, I was pleasantly surprised by how much I enjoyed The Art of the Stab. I feel a little jealous that I didn't write it myself, but I'm so glad that I got to read it that I don't mind that so much. I would recommend you give this book a shot if you're interested in diplomacy at all. If you're on my channel, I'm guessing you are. So let's encourage the publication of more great writing in our hobby. Fiction writing in our hobby is particularly rare. Again, the link is down in the description, so you can purchase the author's book through Amazon, and I'll also get a little slice of Amazon's share of that revenue. If you liked this review, Please let me know with your likes, your comments, and your subscriptions to this channel. Until next time, Florida Man out.